SCOAN visitors photo showing aircraft flying low over a SCOAN building.
In memory of the martyrs of faith, in this documentary, we bring to you exclusive footage from the SCOAN archives, where witnesses and survivors give their accounts of what happened September 12, 2014.
Security footage. September 12, 2014. A strange aircraft flies low over a building at the Synagogue Church of All Nations multiple times before the incident. And after the incident, the strange aircraft does not return. September 12, 2014. Take note of the upper left-hand corner of the screen. A strange aircraft flies over the building at the Synagogue Church of All Nations before the incident at 11:30 a.m. "13 minutes later, the strange aircraft flies low over the building before the incident, 11:43 a.m. Just 2 minutes later, the strange aircraft returns and flies lower over the building before the incident, 11:45 a.m. Nine minutes later, the strange aircraft returns and again flies low over the building before the incident, 11:54 a.m. This is the moment of the incident.
You are about to watch the CCTV footage of the September 12 incident at the Synagogue Church of All Nations from cameras at different angles of how it took place. This is what the building looked like before the September 12 incident occurred. Now, watch the CCTV footage from a different angle, showing a closer view of the building from the second camera.
Footage from another CCTV camera, positioned facing the end of the building, reveals the incident from another, closer angle. Take note of the building in the upper right-hand corner of the screen. From this angle, you can see clearly the precise moment of the incident. Take note of the top of the screen, as the CCTV footage, played in slow motion, reveals exactly what happened to the building, frame by frame, during the incident. Look again to what happens to the building during the exact moments of the incident, as the CCTV camera continues to reveal in slow motion each moment of the incident. This is the moment of the incident. September 12, 2014. A building at the Synagogue Church of All Nations collapses after a aircraft flies low multiple times over it before disappearing. SCOAN visitors capture the strange aircraft on their cameras at the entrance of the building. A SCOAN visitor's photo. A strange aircraft flies low over a building at the Synagogue Church of All Nations. This is the enlarged view of the photograph taken. It reveals the close proximity at which the strange aircraft flew over the building shortly before its collapse. Let us listen to the visitors who took the photo, saw the aircraft, and survived September 12, 2014.
My name is Shadrach Manzini. I'm from South Africa. So after the service at the main church, we went out for lunch. When I was entering the other part of the church, I wanted to take some pictures of the synagogue building pictures. And I took 2 pictures. From there, while I was taking the last picture, is when I discovered a very big, giant aircraft. It's something which it was unusual, actually, the way it looks. It was not looking like a passenger flight or an ordinary flight. So I asked myself, I thought maybe because the airport is too close and then the aircraft is going to land, because my worry it was too low from the building. So in South Africa, normally that kind of the planes, such big aircraft, they don't just fly close to the buildings. So I just told myself that because the airport is too close, so the flight is trying to maybe to go and land. There's a certain lady that came inside the canteen shouting and screaming, crying that the building collapsed. So it's then when we went outside to see, is when we saw the building collapsed. I zoomed the picture where I saw the aircraft clearly on the picture.
This is a photograph taken by Mr. Shadrach on his cell phone. A look at the upper left-hand corner reveals the strange aircraft as it flew over the building.
By the time the incident happened, there was a lot of talks on it, that maybe the structure was poor. Some, they say that the engineers, they know this and that. Until when the man of God revealed what really happened, is when I went back to my photo, all the photos I took.
My name is Toby Lebagu. I'm coming from South Africa. When I entered the building, I heard the aircraft and I did not care about it. I went inside the dining hall because it was lunchtime. On the queue, I was served, and whilst I was preparing coffee for myself, I heard a big sound behind me. It was something like a big bang, you see. So when I looked up, I saw the slab is falling down, and because of my experiences, you see, because I'm a health and safety officer, and I've been trained on what to do when a beam is falling on top of you, that you have to go to the opposite direction. And then I ran to the opposite direction, and as I was running through the opposite direction, I saw the walls that they were cracking all over there, and suddenly I was on the floor and it was dark, you see, as if it was not during the day, and it was very, very hot, and it was dark on the inside. But in some cases, you could feel that there was fresh air coming. You do not know where this fresh air is coming from. We prayed to God and thank God and thank Prophet T.B. Joshua for praying for us.
My name is Mick Milambo. I'm from South Africa, originally from DRC. I was walking with my friend Joseph, but he's not here. He went back in South Africa today. The time we walk, we just crossed the gate here. We saw that aircraft. It was just past here, just slowly, big aircraft. That's my friend told me. Hey, if you see the craft like this one, that is trouble. The sound was not that big, it was small. And it was big aircraft, very big, but it was passing just not far, but slowly. And after that, we just go into that same building, that one, the aircraft passed there. Is that the same building, that one we was going? Our lunch we was supposed to take there. After that, They start even saving the lunch. We manage even to get our lunch. And I can say about after 10 minutes, I hear just the sound, something like puff. You know, like a glass, when they break the glass. It was those, because we was just like the wall was behind us, just to look what happened there. And we see this thing was coming to us fast. It was very fast, very fast. Is that the sound that one I can hear? Puff! Everyone was down. And we start calling each other, and we start praying. We was praying. God is great. We didn't cease to shout the name of Jesus down there.
Hello, Emmanuel. You're speaking to Charles Longwane from Joburg, Johannesburg. On Friday, we were in the church, and in lunchtime, we got out, and then we were moving to where they're giving us food. While we were going, and then next to the building that was fallen, I've seen the aeroplane was coming to the building, but I was with my friend. He was just taking photos for the synagogue building. That flight, when it comes, I didn't think that it will come to the building because it was coming as like it's going to pass the building. But suddenly when we see it on the photo, it was turning to the building. It was big. It was big, but it was not having sound too much. The sound was not too much, because if it was too much, I think everybody was going to look up. It was a silence one when it was just moving, and it was moving very slowly. It looks like a jetta. It looks like a jetta. It doesn't look like an ordinary plane that we take when you go somewhere or anything. After that, then we pass the building. We're going where we're going to eat. And then my friend was still taking those photos. That is what I've seen from there. Then that was it.
What I'd like to confirm is what people they saw on the Emmanuel TV, the clip the man of God showed. Some they say, no, it looks like a bird, it's not an aircraft. But I'd like to confirm it that one, it was an aircraft. We saw it, we witnessed it, and we thank God because on one of the pictures taken, the aircraft was captured. I like to believe that it was a plan of God that pushed that excitement to like to take those pictures. It was the Holy Spirit. Thank you very much.
I want to salute the martyrs of people that are so faithful to God, the God generous people that know the God they are serving. I want to salute them. Viewers all over the world, I want to say thank you. I salute your faith. The message I have for you, I will read it page by page so that you can be able to write it down. Thank you. Let me first of all say thanks to the following organization and their support. First, the state we are today, Lagos State, and the federal government of Nigeria. Thank you very much for your support and your prayer. And the security agencies of different bodies. You know, I will not be able to mention you one by one. We have many security agencies around. I want to salute you and also to thank you very much for your love and your prayer and your support. Let me also remember engineers and the humanitarian group with their equipment. For some days now, I want to say thank you once again for your support. Rescue from different bodies. You just see people from everywhere. Let me remember the doctors. What wonderful people. All over. Not even Nigeria alone. All over. Doctors everywhere. And their hospital too. Media. Well, I want to say thank you, media. Because I know the relationship of Jesus Christ with media in the Bible. Yes. Emmanuel TV is the media of synagogue. If we fight media, we are fighting Emmanuel TV. So we want to salute you. Thank you very much. members and partners all over the world. A big thanks. I'm giving you a hug. Thank you for your prayer and all. Neighbors, thank you very much for your support and your prayer. Clergy and Christians all over the world, I want to say a very big thanks and I salute your faith. Let me remember diplomatic missions all over the world. We receive letters from nearly all embassies praying and supporting us in prayer and asking what can they do. I want to say thank you, diplomatic mission all over the world. Thank you very much. I want to use this opportunity to thank you. There are many organizations I will not be able to mention. If there is any organization I'm not mentioned here, I want to say thank you for your prayer and for your love. Yes, I want to start my message here. I will just give you a detail because the security agencies need to do their job. In a nutshell, let me start from the very day. That was Friday morning. I was in the mountain. I left there at exactly 8 a.m. in the morning. And I received a phone call immediately where I left. I received a phone call immediately I got here. Just 10 minutes interval. When I was in the church, there was a jet hovering, moving around, a very close range at the mountain, which I had just left. The place I left, at the mountain, I received a phone call that there is a jet moving around that spot, where I told them that I was in the church. Before I knew it, I received a phone call again that there was a jet here, the same jet here, at the church, hovering around a building, passing over the building 4 times at a very low rate before the building collapsed. After the 4th time, we could not see the aircraft again. Let me read a little message for you before I bring out some detail. This environment, we have never witnessed an accident of a building collapse. This is to tell you that we have a stable terrain in this Equatorial. I've been in this community for the past 30 years. No record of building collapse. As a minister of the gospel, our first priority is life saving. There is no compromise in what we do at all. I'm going to leave this for you to judge. Take note of that. I'm pregnant of the word. We have left the security to do their job. Let us believe, take note of that, and educate our people and be alert. Why we should believe? So that our country will not witness similar incident in another place. This is not the first time. If we believe, we will educate our people and be alert. No matter how long a lie is sustained, truth will someday prevail. We should remember the militant that came with his group to this church with bomb, and he was arrested, and it was televised. Upon televise it and show it on the screen, all groups were saying it was lying. But later, they discovered that it was true, because they felt their presence somewhere. And the case of the militant is still with the security hand. And the whole pressmen, news all over the world, the whole story first.
Let us listen to what this man has to say.
My name is Mustafa Umar. I'm from Adamawa State, Yola. And I'm a Boko Haram member. And that Boko Haram member is a court. And that court, I know why I joined the court. So from that place, many souls were killed from Adamawa to Medjugorje side, Munchika, from Munchika to town of Gata.
Okay. What brought you here?
This is my first time to come to Lagos.
And you came to where?
And we come to this synagogue church. We drop at this junction here.
Junction opposite church here?
Opposite the church there.
Okay. When you stop there, what for?
So we stop there. The morale will come to that church. We come to this junction here. Opposite the junction there, one house man used to sell something.
What's this selling?
He sell all these sweets, soap, cigarette, all these provisions.
Okay, when you met the man, what else?
So when we met the man, so we are 5 in number, so I hold the bag will hold, the instruments will come with it. I meet the malam, I say, Malam, please help me just keep this bag.
You met the man and you asked him to keep the bag?
The bag with him.
The bag contains what?
It contains some instrument inside, sir.
What is the instrument?
The instrument, all those instruments say to destroy, to kill, say bomb.
Bomb, okay.
I give him the bag, say, I keep this bag for me. Say, no, you don't keep anything here for anybody.
Okay.
Because I speak my language in Hausa language, so that because I'm the only person I see that is my brother here, that's why.
Okay.
So he refused to collect the bag.
Okay.
So we decide to carry the bag and go with it. I said, let's sit down here and eat.
Okay.
So after we eat, that's where we think to prepare our mission here now. So we sit down there, we eating food, then bring food for us, we are eating. So they are eating. So the woman have television in her shop. We are watching the television. Discuss between us.
You are watching what?
So that is Emmanuel television now. I saw you particularly, you are preaching to people that time.
Okay.
So as you are preaching to people now, we are just sitting down eating. By the time you pray, and you lay your hand something like this to your hand, it just be like you are doing with us. You just lay your hand to our face. At once you just lay your hand like this, and that hand you lay it for our face, direct. So that is where the all our plans, everybody just confusion just come between us.
Assume you people were not there when the prayer was going on. What was the plan?
Our plan is to take the souls at this junction here, in this synagogue church here. That's where we'll enter. That's where I tell us.
That bomb inside the bag. Okay, how will you people do them?
It just be like something like meter. So there is wire that we will draw and join it. And that's the button we will press. We can set it 1 hour. We can set it to explode at 1 minute. We can set it to explode at 3 minutes. If we set it at 5 minutes, if we drop it, before that 5 minutes, we will leave that place.
You people will leave the place?
We will leave the place.
What will happen?
All the souls around there, everybody will go.
What is your problem? Why are you here?
Why I'm here? Since that day, I want to go back home. I don't fit to go back home again.
Why?
Anytime I lie down, I will be seeing you. So the thing is disturbing me too much. It's disturbing me. So
what is disturbing you?
You are disturbing me now. I don't know what I did to you now.
Where is your colleague, the other people?
Everybody scatter now. Everybody scatter.
Why you alone?
Why me alone? I don't know why I just stand alone. Because the thing is bothering me too much. This is my first time to come to Lagos.
So other people will still be in Lagos?
I don't know where we are now. All them on the phone. Nobody agreed to pick his call again.
Okay, what of the bag with bomb?
Our master, the name is Balare Benasuru. He take it back.
Okay, how do you come about these things? What gave you the courage to do this? How do you manage to have the heart to do what you are doing? Simple.
And I use Arabic language to write it. After I write it, then wash it, then give me as I drink. That is the day I drink it. I drink it. That is the day I get the liver. After I drink it, I have the soul. I have the mind to kill the souls.
Okay, why do you want to see me? Why can't you run away? Now, everybody run away. But you, why are you coming here to say this kind of thing? Why? What is worrying you? Tell us.
Why am I coming to this place? I want to go. I don't have the spirit to go again because...
You don't have the spirit to do it again?
I don't have the spirit to do it again. Anytime I just lie that. That's why I don't want to sleep for night. I'll always be seeing you.
You don't sleep in the night?
I don't want to sleep. If I sleep, you'll be disturbing me, telling me I should don't go to you. You'll be praying for me. You lay your hand on me. That's why.
Since he could not sleep and he could not rest and he has no peace, he say he want to die if I don't release him. I don't know why he should say that. Why other people have run away, and I know anywhere they are to, they are under bondage. They are under bondage, serious torture, which this man could not bear it. And he said he will not run away, he wants to get free. I want to tell you that for the past 2 weeks now, I've been wearing these jeans. Can you see? This is 2 weeks now. I wore it last week. I wore it yesterday. The same jeans I'm wearing now. You should know that something is going on. I'm in a serious battle for the past 2 weeks. Those who look at me yesterday will know that this is what I wore. This is what I wore too. The same. I would have wear the same shirt yesterday, but because there is no way I could put it together, people will see the same thing, the same service yesterday is today. It's not possible for me to stand in your midst and begin to tell you what I have seen in the spirit about to happen. But I've seen it for the past 3 weeks. But I've also set a trap. All the look on corner of the church. That anywhere the trap should catch. Not even, we don't want them to enter here, because entering here will create fear. But not just at the main road, discussion concerning the issue, the trap, for the past 3 weeks. But I will not stand here to tell you, but I can be telling you the prophecy about the other nature. But concerning me, I know. What will you do for me now? What will you do? You have been praying for me already. If I now stand up and say this is what is going to happen, I don't know the way you look at it. So I keep it to myself. Jesus gave the strength. Here is a brother here. I want him to be released because the heart wants to cut. He could not help himself. Doesn't know the direction to follow. So he cannot close eye. He cannot sit down. He cannot do anything. So my mission is to separate him from the spirit that is controlling him. To do that. We are not to fight mere flesh and blood. We are to be armed for battle. The thought of evil against the anointed man of God is a crime. And it's abomination to God. If you're a true man of God. That thought, just sitting down somewhere, anywhere you are thinking of, what can we do? How do we get him? How do we destroy him? How do we fool him? How do we disgrace him? It's God you are talking about. Touch not my anointed and do him no war. In the mighty name of Jesus Christ. Take!
Observo en este momento la liberación de este hombre, miembro. Es miembro del equipo terrorista de Bucaram. En este momento ha recibido su liberación en el nombre poderoso de Jesucristo.
Who are you?
Who I am?
Yes. Can you face me?
Yeah?
observe esta batalla espiritual. Recuerde que no peleamos la carne ni la sangre, pero entidades espirituales.
Vomit it out in the name of Jesus. Vomit it out, whatever they must have given you that inspire you to kill people. Vomit it out. Out.
Vomite en este momento esta sustancia ordenada por el profeta Trilloso, esa sustancia que lo ha incitado a matar personas.
Vomit it out.
Recuerde, este es un miembro del equipo de terroristas de Boko Haram.
On the floor. It's looking at the person that is talking. On the floor. Out. Imagine they carry that bomb inside this place. Okay, settle. Run.
Sobre la pantalla.
Run. Run. Run.
Recuerde que es miembro del grupo terrorista de Boko Haram. En este momento recibir su libertad en el nombre poderoso de Jesucristo. Se ve la pantalla, en el brazo.
Have you attempted any operation before and it failed?
I never failed before. There's the operation we go in Air Force Base in Maiduguri.
Air Force Base in Maiduguri?
Yes, almost.
You are one of them?
Yes. Even we go to Adamawa State in Munchika. Last 2 weeks past now.
And you never attempt anything and fail before?
We never failed.
How many this one fail?
Why this one fail us now as we come to this synagogue church now? Why we fail this? Is what the problem is when we go to eat. And since we are going to any job like this, we didn't think to go and eat because we've already satisfied ourselves before we come out. But we don't know what pushed us. We say, let's enter inside the shop to go and eat. After we sit down there eating, because we are 5 in number, we face the television. When you lay your hand in the television, you just open your hands like this. You just on our face. That's where the confusion just come. Everybody just finding a way.
Okay. Place your hand on your chest.
Se ve en la pantalla este hombre del grupo terrorista de Boko Haram confesando cómo él realiza los ataques terroristas, las bombas para asesinar gente masiva, diciendo que nunca ha fracasado en sus intentos, que no explica cómo él fracasó este intento aquí en la Sinagoga Iglesia de todas las Naciones. Esto fue a través de la oración por parte del profeta Trilloso.
J'ai entendu la confession de cet homme qui dit qu'il était dans la secte de Boko Haram, qu'il avait déposé une bombe au sein de l'église. Il a mentionné comment il a été initié dans cette secte et qu'ils ont écrit quelque chose en langue arabe. Ils l'ont lavé, ils l'ont fait boire et c'est comme cela qu'il a le cœur de pouvoir tuer quiconque.
So, the spirit that leading him to kill is gone.
L'homme de Dieu a dit que l'esprit qui vient de tuer est parti. Et on va maintenant sourire pour la première fois.
El espíritu que tenía de matar se ha ido en el nombre poderoso.
How are you feel now? How are you feel?
Father God, thank you. Thank you.
Speak louder.
I say thank you.
Oh, he's crying.
Thank you.
He's crying. He's crying. He's crying.
Vincent Dieu est en train maintenant de pleurer, remerciant l'homme de Dieu.
He said thank you. You feel different.
Dice gracias, llorando.
It's now a very person himself used to know. If you give him something, he can't slap people now again. Talk less of killing people. So he has been delivered. He has a lot to say because so far a lot has gone. He's going to shit out everything that they have eaten because everything is neutralized now. But there is one, this you used to wear.
Yes. I'm used to wear it because that time the thing even tights me. But how do you know that I'm wearing something? Because
He said what?
He said, how did the man of God know that he used to wear something on his waist?
Okay, thank you. Thank you. I'm very sorry. Viewers all over the world. And I know you want me to ask a lot of questions or whatever. He has said it all. The operation he has got, he said this is the first time he is failing. So whatever you want to hear, that is not my nature. My nature, I love people. I can't fight mere blood and flesh, but the spirit being that caused this. My duty is to deliver him. Thank you. So if you are thinking of repercussion, what will have happened if 200 people just die and the name of the ministry? If you are thinking about that, you should also think about Christ on the cross for you. I know you asked me, why synagogue? That is a question that is going through you. Why this church? Yes, don't forget the spiritual blessing that God has bestowed on us. A big head wears a large hat. Don't quickly forget about Ebola issue too. It was God that rescued this ministry from the issue. They want to put issue of Ebola. If possible, they will have dodged an Ebola patient and drop it inside the church. You remember the text message you received that Ebola is in the church? Don't go there. Cook hot water, put salt. Say, TB Joshua, you have forgotten, don't forget. God rescued this ministry from that. They were trying to scare you from coming to this church. I know my hour has not yet come. I have not yet finished my job. I have not finished my job. I have not finished my job. Anything close to Jesus receives attack. Don't forget the message you have been receiving for the past 2 weeks. I was talking to you in parable. Go over the message. You will see the picture that when a situation like this comes, you should know how to handle it. It has come and God is on top of the matter. Let me remind you what I said during the last Sunday, that what will be happening between now will be much, much greater than 10 years. How many of you were in the service? I want to assure you that our God will get back to them. Listen to me. God will get back to them, the agent of Satan, and you will know when he get back to them. You will know, because of what happened. Look at what happened. You will know. And I'm happy the whole thing starts here. I will tell you the reason why I say the whole thing starts here. From the beginning, it has been a battle. If you notice, I have been talking to you for the past 2 weeks now in parallel. I want to show you some document here. This document, I think my wife is just seeing it now for the first time. Only those who receive it from the email department and I. And those who receive those documents, I want them between me and you and God. Nobody should see this document. But because of what has happened, I think, let me just show you one. Just one. I want somebody to come out read this document with the picture.
Man of God, my name is Emmanuel Anaja. I'm from Kogi State, living in Jos, right now with my parents, who is a soldier. I have a confession to make. I want to give my life to Jesus Christ as Savior. I'm a Boko Haram member. I came to SCOAN to plant a bulb in the Synagogue Church of All Nations, but I could not do it because of God who called you. I went back to Jos with a bomb, which I still have with me. Now I want to show the whole world the God you serve. Man of God, Senior Prophet T.B. Joshua, please talk to God for me, for the Bible says, confess your sin to one another.
So this is the picture of the man. For security reasons, I think I will not give you more than that. This is one out of thousands. The reason why I'm showing you this, because for you to know the God you are serving. God wants to reveal to you what he has been doing you don't know. Probably we may not appreciate what he has been doing. And I know if I have shown you this, those who are faithless may not come here again. If I have shown it in the past, faithless generation may not want to come. It's not one, it's not two, it's not three. I've picked and I report them to the securities. You know what it means for the church whom you have read so much to show something on the screen? It must have confirmed it's true. Because, you know, it's not normal to show something that is not true on the screen. I show it for good 2 months. Still yet, you say it was not true. Not until you saw their presence somewhere. What happened? We should believe it so that we can educate our people to be alert. If not, I said it last time concerning Boko Haram. What you are seeing now is not going to stop here, but our God will get back. Maybe this will be the end of the whole thing. And I want to salute the martyrs of people that are so faithful to God, the God generous people that know the God they are serving. I want to salute them. Thank you. All over the world, I want to say, well, the story we read for the past 3 days, you know, I remain silent. I have to. Because I know my life has been like that. Right from the beginning of my life, people will lie, but they will still come back to the truth. My life has been like that. And that is a good lie. For people to lie against you first, before they realize the truth. If people realize the truth at the beginning, the story may not end up, because there's story all over. Here I am. I leave you for you to judge. I'm a prophet. Security, they have a job to do. Thank you very much.
Let's watch the difference between what happens when a building collapses because of controlled demolition and when a building collapses because of structural failure. We will leave you to judge for yourself.
What you are about to watch are controlled demolitions in the nation of Nigeria. This is the controlled demolition of the old Nitel building in Abuja, Nigeria, July 27, 2013. This is the building at the Synagogue Church of All Nations in Lagos, Nigeria, September 12, 2014. This is the controlled demolition of the Bank of Industry building in Lagos, Nigeria, September 21, 2008. Controlled demolitions in the nation of Nigeria.
On July 27, 2014, 6 weeks before the incident at the SCOAN on September 12, 2014, Prophet T.B. Joshua gave a word of prophecy about a cloud covering Nigeria, as close as my mouth. Let's listen to him.
I came back from Colombia. I wanted to travel from there to another country, but I came back home because there is a cloud that covers Nigeria. I want to witness how this cloud would despair. Cloud means trouble. Look at what is happening here. You will not see it on national TV, but if you learn that they bomb there now, one of you will call CNN that they are bombed synagogue.
A rescue agency spokesman in Nigeria says Friday's collapse at a church complex in Lagos killed at least 42 people. As many as 130 others may have been pulled from the rubble of the synagogue Church of All Nations.
Look at what is happening here. You will not see it on national TV, but if you learn that they bomb there now, one of you will call CNN that they are bomb synagogue. Oh, what is happening? You will never see it on the pages of national newspaper, international. You will never see it. Every good thing. But if anything bad happens in front of the church, one of you, Nigeria, will be the one to make a call. You are destroying your country, selling your country at nothing. It's a very painful thing. You are the one destroying your country, you, Nigerians. The image you are giving to your country is bad. You destroy your image, you tell your nation it's bad, everything is bad, it's good, it's bad. And I'm telling you something, far, far, far. But now I'm telling you something as close as my mouth. One thing is clear. I have never seen where lying overcome truth. Take note of that. I have never seen where lying overcome what? Truth will always what? Prevail. I pray, Father, let your will be done.
Ta volonté soit faite.
Let your will be done.
Que ta volonté soit faite.
Let your will be done.
Que ta volonté soit faite, Seigneur.
In Jesus' name.
Au nom de Jésus.
Let's listen to some structural and civil engineers from international bodies who inspected the foundations of the SCOAN building in the aftermath of the incident and gave their professional views.
I'm Dr. Stephen Asherin Toga. I am a civil engineer. I am a structural engineer. I'm a materials engineer. I've lectured in many universities, and even now I'm still a lecturer. I happen to be also a dean of the Faculty of Engineering in Tanzania. I come from Tanzania. And the subjects that I teach are exactly on these structures. I studied in Europe. I taught in Europe. Then I came here, the year 2005. I also know the regulations of constructions, what really happens in a country like Nigeria, even Tanzania. They use the so-called British standards in, let us say, concrete structures. Okay. Now, I also know that if officially a recognized company takes a job like this, it has to be up to the standard. And I also know the British, let us say, codes. I can talk a lot about this. What happened in this building, as I can see, the interaction between this foundation base, you see, and the soil has opened up so wide that even if the, let us say, the soil was having, was of low strength, you see, then actually it will still have an excellent response. In other words, the soil will just have just like a touch. meaning that no actually suppression of, let us say, the foundation. And this is why, as you can see, the foundation itself here, as you can see, it is healthy. This type of steel is the type of steel that is of highest strength in the world. I studied in a European continental program type of education from Aristotle University of Thessaloniki. You see, so I know this type of steel is the best steel that you can ever have. You see, and as one of my colleagues said here, that these columns are, you see, more than, you know, 6. And even the cross-section, this cross-section of this steel is just too much. You see, and also, if you observe this one here, okay, from the foundation to this height, it means there is the interconnection between the foundation and into the upper continuation of the column, joining the structure with the beams that are up there, you see, meaning that there was even more, you see, reinforcements than just these ones you are seeing. You see, then this kind of material that is used for what we call it stirrups or rings that tie this. They use, this is a 10, Y10. Y10 means what? It is actually 10 millimeters. Standardly we use 6, this is 10. And I'm talking here because I'm a university lecturer. And I prepare groom engineers that are, I want to get their degrees. I've even also done a lot of research, supervised people who are doing, let us say, masters and doctorates. So I know what I'm saying. Come to this material, this here, this beam here. You see, it's the beam interconnecting that foundation and the other one. An extra effort made by the company that built it. You see, normally this kind of thing can be put in a super sensitive foundation in terms of an area or a zone that has got a high, you see, level of earthquake effects. As I can also see the materials used in terms of, let us say aggregates. These are called aggregates, you see, and the different sizes that are used precisely because of this kind of diversification of the aggregates. Then it simply means this, that actually the interwovening of this material, concrete, as a brittle material, is well interwoven together with the, let us say, from the aggregates that are big, then come to the smaller sizes of the aggregates, then come to the sand itself, then come to the cement itself, which is a paste that interwooves the concrete itself. As I'm seeing here, the way it is compacted, it means that it is super perfects the extent of the degree of effectiveness in the excellence of construction of this building.
How high do you think this building, looking at the foundation, could go?
With this kind of foundation, it could go to even more than 12 stories. I have seen the building as it was being shown, and I saw the height of, let us say, between one floor and the other one. Actually, the higher the height that is of between the floor and the floor, the more resistance to destruction the structure is. and this structure, this building, had that quality. You see, this happening could only have been done pre-planned, you see, arrangement of, I can say, knowledge people like me. Why? Because we as engineers in civil engineering, we are even taught how to demolish, let us say, buildings. Therefore, there are methodologies that are taught officially, and we teach, actually, how to do this job. You see, one of the character of, of the thing that is within that kind of knowledge is whenever you are doing this, you must make sure that, you see, the building just has to fall within its plot. In other words, within its own foundation. It is like making the building to kneel down, just like that. And very quickly, you see, very quickly. Why? Because you actually strike, you know, artificially at where, you see, this material here is brittle. Brittle, it means it's not ductile. Now, brittle means that actually it doesn't have this strength, the tensile strength, in this manner, okay, to elongate it. If you get a chalk and you tension it, it will just go. You see. So actually, when it will just crack very suddenly without extending. You see. Now, we do know that you start with this type of this material. You see. You weaken it very quickly. Then, when you in the process as you weaken it very quickly, you see, then the whole building will rest on only one thing, that is the steel. Yet the design considers the interworking together of the two materials, concrete and the steel, as one. You see, this is actually the thing. Now, when you take away one material, then you see, accumulate everything on this, then this is why you see these ones, they had to like sink, you see, because they are alone. Then immediately the building has just to kneel down, you know, and very quickly. And the process that we use is that once you detonate somewhere, then it goes pa 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 pa, and then in seconds. I can say even more. So not to exhaust you, you see, this is actually what I have to say. Thank you.
If you can see the size of the rod, I mean the iron, this size is Y20, and where is the ring that gather the iron together, it's Y10. And you see that the base is still remain the same without it to one side or other side.
My name is Alpheus Mamafa. I'm from South Africa. I did civil engineering. I specialize in buildings. Most of the buildings have been constructed by Y12, and these are the Y20, the strongest. And if you can check the type of reinforcement, the reinforcement on it, mostly we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on a column. And this is more than 6. Wow. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, around about 10 for reinforcement. And the strongest reinforcement that we ever get in the buildings. This is the strongest column that we will ever get. Nothing will shake this. Because as you can see, this reinforcement, you can't shake them, especially with the concrete inside. Concrete makes it more strong because concrete on itself, it's so strong. What about with this reinforcement? This you can't shake it anymore. And if you can see here, this reinforcement, it has been for reinforcement on the ground here. There is a concrete reinforcement here, and the concrete reinforcement here, it's so strong, this beam. And the other thing, the structural failure will always happen on a foundation. That's why there's no any other building that will be constructed without inspectors checking on your foundation. A crack on a foundation, it's a structural failure. So because of the weight that is coming from above, here you find no crack on anything. It's so strong. That's why here I don't see any structural failure on this building.
Okay, my name is Thabo Pierha from South Africa. I'm qualified as a civil engineering technician and a candidate as an engineering technician with EXA. From my observation, what I've noticed or what I've seen from this, from the exposed foundations, basically when the structure is failing, you will also notice from the foundations that the structure is failing. So by merely looking at the bases that are exposed from the entire building, you can see that the bases are still firm, they're standing. On the columns, you can see the amount of reinforcement that has been used here, and the concrete. Well, the concrete also can be tested, but from seeing the columns and some bases that are lying around the site, it shows you that most of them they fell and they were still intact up until after the collapse of the building. So, according to my own observation, I believe that the structure has been affected in a different way other than the structural failure. Thank you.
Let's now hear from one of the international news journalists who flew in to cover the aftermath of the event. Take your time to watch the rest on the internet.
(11:30 a.m. A military aircraft flies at low altitude over the church precinct. 11:43, another aircraft along a similar flight path. 11:45, it happens again. 11:54, the plane circles for a fourth time at low altitude. 12:44, the building collapses. This is the Synagogue Church of All Nations. It's a Sunday morning, it's packed full of people, and surrounded by the synagogue is a number of hostels, a number of accommodation facilities for people who come to the church. It is literally 20 meters away from where the building collapsed on the 12th of September back in 2014. The building precinct is heavily guarded 24 hours a day. Apart from some of the initial rubble being removed, the site has not been touched since the incident happened. There are two very opposing theories on what happened on the 12th of September 2014. Well, here we are outside the Synagogue Church of All Nations. It is a Sunday morning here, so a busy time here on the streets of Lagos. And we're standing literally at the scene where almost exactly a year ago this building, the guest house outside the Synagogue Church of All Nations, 118 people lost their lives, and also including 85 South Africans. So we're here now, and we wanted to just talk to one of the guys who set up or wrote a paper talking about the reasoning, the possible reasoning behind what happened that day, that infamous day. Paul Igniwe is standing with me now, and he published a journal talking about the concept of infrasonic weapons. And so he's going to maybe take me through the site. He's studied the site closely in the days, literally, and weeks after the incident, and he's going to run me through what his sides are and the basis of his paper that he wrote, telling us a little bit about it. Paul, welcome to ANN7. Thanks very much, obviously, for joining us. Just run us through what your sort of basic findings were when you first came to the scene.
I haven't gone studied the CCTV,
I discovered that the plane kept flying over where we are standing now. The building was here, and it flew for 4 different times. And from the analysis of the video, I discovered that after the 4th time the plane flew over, 30 minutes later the building came down. About approximately 30 minutes it came down. Now the interesting thing is that why would the plane keep flying over the building in a manner that seems consistent of trying to induce or trying to fire a kind of infrasonic weapon, which of course is what I published and it was accepted to be so. Now, having gone through that, I came to that conclusion that that plane carried an infrasonic generator which consistently fired pulses of the infrasound over the building, and it needed to give a complete or enough intensity of the doses. That's why it kept coming back. And interestingly, immediately after the building came down, the plane never came back again. So let's assume that the plane was just on routine flying over. Now the building has come down. Why is the plane not continuing?
Local structural engineers, independent to the church, have studied the site and gave us their conclusions.
Anybody that watched the footage will see the building come down as if a slice of bread. You know, when you arrange a slice of bread, how did that bread come down? A building of 6-story come down without teeth to left or teeth to right, and be any structural failure. Number one, you have to know the point of the load, that maybe the weight of the building go to that side. But this area, everything come down within a seconds. And sure, anybody that come here see glaring that the core room is intact, nothing touching it. And the other side, we see some chaos there. It's intact. We removed that one because of the rescue time.
The theory of infrasonic weapons, I just briefly want to know what your thought is on infrasonic weapons and the damage that it can cause to a building such as this.
Yes, that is really where some scientists they are saying if they plant something inside the building, you will see the chemical reaction on the outside. But in this case, we don't see any chemical reaction, but we are seeing that when the plane fly over 4 times, because the building didn't have any signs of stress, it didn't have any signs of cracking, the building stands firm. Nothing like cracking, whatever, or in the building. But after the plane flying over 4 times, before 30 minutes, the plane come down, and the plane, it don't come back again.
The focus for the church is the government planes that flew over the building on the morning of the incident. The response from the government was that routine Nigerian Air Force training coincidentally took place that morning. Are you saying then that Nigeria, somebody in Nigeria, possesses infrasonic weapons that could have brought this building down?
I wouldn't know if it is somebody in Nigeria or somebody outside Nigeria. This is weapons of international dimensions. It could have been that it was brought from outside the country, perhaps to test. You know, people do a lot of weapons testing, and sometimes people are not even aware. I'll give you an example. Some years back, I've forgotten the exact dates now. The Americans were testing this same kind of weapon, another generic sonic weapons, in one of the islands. And you know what? All the dolphins in the ocean were dying and washing off ashore. And truly speaking, that's not my business. It's the business of the government and the security agencies to ensure properly what happened here. Because mine is to show that this is what happened. And I think that I have done that with people who have never met me and who are better experts in this field.
As you say, you're a scientist. Looking at how buildings get demolished, controlled demolitions, this looks almost exactly the same. Can you categorically say that there were no explosives found in this building and that it must have been done from the air?
Yeah, there are certain misconceptions that we need to educate non-scientists when we talk about controlled demolition. Controlled demolition means that it is controlled by humans. And you see, in using explosives for controlled demolition, you want to achieve an aim. The aim is to transfer the energy of the explosives into the building to bring down the building. Now, what happened here is similar in the sense that infrasonic energy was transferred into the building. It's just that the methods differ. In the traditional case, you place in explosives, that cannot be done clandestinely. And if that was the case, there would have been chemical signatures that we would have seen. Like I said, the tent behind us now wouldn't have been standing. One time the building just came down. The building came down silently. And that is why I am insisting. And again, the way the building came down directly vertical. The videos are all over the internet of how building comes down when it's as a result of poor construction methods or poor materials. Such buildings always tilt. But this building did not tilt. It just sat on itself. When I presented that at the coroner's court, the coroner didn't believe that I was going to do what I said I was going to do. Because, like I said, I keep insisting, I am a scientist, I am not a member of this church. So far, I have not been a member. I was interested for the fact that this is what I was doing when I worked with the government. I had worked with the government in the Ministry of Defense at the Defense Industries Corporation of Nigeria, where we produce weapons for the country. And that background made me to suspect that this is what happened.
If the plane actually flew according to that level, will our CCTV camera be able to carry it? That is part of the question coroner failed to iron out before giving verdict.
Were there no questions asked of where the plane took off from? Surely their flight details, every single flight is documented, where it takes off from, what's its purpose of its travel, who is on board. Is that not going to be investigated?
No, they were unable to do that, because the plane had to do with military something. Nobody came to actually give details about that. They couldn't produce who the occupant for security reasons, because it's a military plane. For security reasons, nobody was able to provide that security aspect of it. Nobody came. That is part of the question. But despite that fact.
Another interesting aspect of the collapse of the guest house here at the Synagogue Church of All Nations was how the building actually collapsed. It literally imploded. And there's a number of issues, or instances of it on the ground here that you can see. This is a cold room right here that is along the line of the actual building itself. It's no more than 2 meters away from this cold room, and it wasn't damaged at all. And they've actually left it here to actually show you how sort of completely that it came down without touching anything around it. It is bizarre. I mean, this is the line of the end of the Synagogue Church of All Nations guest house, and this is a coal room, and it literally hasn't been touched. Now, the Synagogue Church of All Nations actually own 11 of their own ambulances. This is their fleet behind me here. There are 11 of them, which in some strange way were purchased a few months before the 12th of September last year. Generally, the ambulances are used in the community, in the surrounding areas, just to assist with sick patients or injured patients, some elderly patients. But on that day, on the 12th of September, these ambulances were used to obviously transport injured in that building collapse to the local hospitals. And many people say it was the prophet's intuition that he knew that something was coming. And so all of a sudden, one day, 11 ambulances arrived on the premises, and they were used in good force. Well, I'm sitting here in amongst the literally wrangled mess that is the guest house of the Synagogue Church of All Nations here in Lagos. It certainly is an eerie place considering the death that occurred on the 12th of September 2014. There are a lot of people inside the building that didn't lose their lives, and a lot of staff members worked in the building as well. I'm chatting to Ayu here. He works at the Synagogue Church of All Nations, and we're literally sitting on the place where he was actually when the building collapsed. He's going to tell us a little bit about that experience. I appreciate your time. Run us through what happened that day. When you woke up, what happened?
Okay, just like every other day, when it's time for visitors to have their food. So it was about lunchtime on that particular day. And I was probably getting ready, you know, making sure everything was in place for visitors to enjoy their food. Then before I knew it, I just looked up and there was a sound accompanied with my movement. So fast on the wall. Went so fast. It didn't occur to me because being a very peaceful environment, you know, my mind was at rest, and I followed it, followed the sound, and before I knew it, bang, it just started coming down so fast. I was standing upright, just where we are, standing up, just pushed me down, knocked me off, and I was on the floor, and all I can remember, I blacked out, and by the time I regained consciousness, I found myself under a chair. I'd been pushed underneath. You know, I was stuck. I couldn't move, you know, to the left or to the right. Just stuck there, you know, surrounded with like sharp objects, because the chairs and tables which are actually there had broken, and they became sharp. So I was surrounded with this, and after a while, you know, because I had my phone in my pocket, the first thing that came to mind, probably try and reach people, you know, but there was no signal because everything had come down and all the beams had become like a stumbling, like a block, you know, barriers. There was no signal going through, and everywhere was completely dark. I can tell you that. You couldn't breathe properly. How I managed, it's all by God's grace. I give thanks to God, because from nowhere, as I lay down there, just find droplets of water just coming, you know, eating my forehead and on my lips, and it felt as if I was drinking a ocean of water. And before you knew it, the visitors as well were actually also trapped there. You know, they were in high spirit. Dying itself was so motivational, you know, because the circumstances around us was not encouraging, but they were all in high spirit, and they were praying to God, which I did join them. And before you knew, they were giving thanks. You had a particular lady who was leading them in songs of worship and praise, and I joined them, and from time they would shout for help, and time passed. Before you knew it, we were being pulled out one by one, and I myself, I was being pulled out, and like I said, all God's, to God be the glory. You had people on site who were ready to help, and I was whisked away into the ambulance and taken. By that time, my eyes were partially open. I was looking around, trying to observe what was around, and I was taken to the hospital, and the recovery started. And here I am today, you know, giving thanks to Almighty God.
How long were you there for before you were rescued?
The incident happened at lunchtime on Friday, so Saturday about 5 o'clock, so it was over 24 hours. About when I calculate, about 27, 28 hours under there, yeah.
So you didn't move around? You couldn't move around? There was no space?
There was no space. You're stuck in between. Because you can imagine it's well laid out, you know, but the tables and chairs, you know, coming together, you know, it's just, there's no movement. So I couldn't really move my head, you know, like my head wasn't stuck anywhere. But I couldn't move around. I had to just stay in that position I was, yeah.
Were you able to communicate with the other people around you? Did you shout? Did people shout to you?
Oh yeah, like I said, you know, people were praising the Lord and praying. So definitely, time you just checking everyone, because there was a lady next to me, you know, I tapped her and she responded, "Oh, I'm still here." And it was even after the incident, she was the one who recognized me.
Well, as you know, the devastating effect that the Synagogue Church of All Nations guest house collapse had on South Africans. It certainly was an emotional time. There were 85 South Africans inside this building when it collapsed, which raised a number of questions as to how popular the Synagogue Church of All Nations is amongst South Africans and how many travel up here. I'm sitting with Kulani. Her dad passed away in that incident, and also Blessing. He's sitting over there. His mother was a bishop, and she passed away during that building collapse. And we're just going to get maybe a little bit insight into the families, how they're doing now, how they were, and their involvement in the church at the moment. Kulani, obviously, tell us what transpired. I mean, why was your dad here, and how did you hear about what happened?
My dad was here for spiritual upliftment. I came here, it was on the 11th of September last year, and then the building collapsed on the 12th, but I didn't find out that time. I was writing my final year in high school. I was doing my metric. So by that time, we actually find out after a week it happened, because I couldn't believe it. I was like, I know it can never happen to Synagogue Church of All Nations.
Before my mom left, I was at school doing my metric. And the day before she left, she left a message to the whole family. I was in there. She said to my sister, I'm going right now. And if I don't come back, just look after the kids. Make sure they do well at church. And my kids should do very well in school. And yeah, God will be with you. So then, after the incident had happened, I then remember that my mom would usually talk about such a day that would come, and she'd always tell us that when a day like this comes, you should know that I'm going to my comfort zone. You should rejoice. Don't start complaining and everything. Where I'm at is where God has assigned me to be. So, yeah.
Do you ever question what happened?
Well, everything happens for a reason. I don't question what happened because I know that my mom came here for a good reason. As we all know that this is the arena of liberty. She had came here to seek God's presence, to experience the love of God. And she'd usually come here, go back home with her life changed. You know, things would just turn around for everyone, not only for our families, but for other families out there. So she played a very important role in influencing or in teaching other people out there to seek God first, and yeah.
Well, as we mark 1 year since the devastating building collapse here at the Synagogue Church of All Nations, more questions than answers remain. The truth of the story is that 85 South Africans lost their life in this devastating attack. The truth of the story is that 85 South Africans lost their life in this devastating attack. I'm Peter van Onselen in Lagos for ANN7.
One thing is clear, I have never seen where lying overcome truth. Truth will always prevail.
God's word is his gift to mankind. When we read the Bible from Genesis to Revelation, we see that Christ and his word are one. Learn to dream again as we look to God through his word by his Spirit. Get ready to open your heart to God's word, faith and spirit as we listen to what God has to say in today's Standard for Life.
Viewers, thank you. We will appreciate your love, care and prayer for the families. Thank you. Let us see the message for today. And I want to take you to the book of John 14, verse 6. Jesus answered, I'm the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. If you really know me, you will know my Father. Listen to that. No one comes to the Father except through me. If you really know the Father, you will know me. So this is the message from Jesus. The Christian does not consider death to be his hand, but the end of his trouble, the end of tribulation. Whether you die young or old, no matter the nature of death, death is sure to come. What matter is the grace to continue living hereafter. Viewers, what matter is the grace to continue living hereafter. We need to be sure that we are ready to depart. Are you ready? Will you be ready when the Lord shall come? Will you be ready when the Lord shall come? I will be ready. I will be ready. I will be ready when the Lord shall come. I will be ready. I will be ready. I will be ready when the Lord shall come. Will you be ready? Are you ready? That is the question. Continue to trust in God is the only way to get ready for the thing we are not ready for. Trust and obey. There is no other way to be happy in Jesus. Trust and obey. Continue to trust in the Lord is the only way to get ready for the thing we are not ready for. The question you need to ask yourself, are you living each day as if it were your last? That is the question. Are you living each day as if it were your last? How are you using your life? I mean, how are you spending your life? Because the greatest way to use life is to spend it on something that will outlive it. For instance, to love someone more dearly every day. When you look around you, you see someone who is in need of your love. You will see someone who is in need of your help. You will see someone who is in need of your strength. You will see someone who is in need of your time to help a wandering child find his way. I mean, to help widowers, orphans, the less privileged, and the unsaved. To follow truth, like the book of John 14, verse 6. As blind men long for light, to keep our heart fit for his holy sight and answer when he calls. This is our task. Let me leave you with a million words. Live each day as if it were your last. Someday, you will be right. Emmanuel, thank you for your time.